Another week, another Grand Arena sign up, so it is time for a roster video. This is still plays our general structure here, our Marquees and unlocks. We have just completed a conquest, so we do have a big unlock today. Then the major project progress. There's only one thing left, and that is Pirate Hondo. We have completed everything else as of the last roster video. Datacrons and Omicrons, we do have some work there. We'll show you what Datacrons we have unlocked during this recent conquest, but we also have some Omicrons to put on. And then we are shifting into a new phase on this channel. Now that we have mostly unlocked everything else, we can start addressing any other weaknesses, going into a luxury zone, building out just the rest of the roster for territory battle purposes, territory wars, or just to fill out some squads. Our bird's eye view has a lot of high quality characters, journey characters, conquest characters, but also any recent marquees, so you can see the Pirate Hondo requirements, at least some of the Pirate Hondo requirements, their star progress below. But before we start dropping gear, we need to look at the status of our Hoard. The intent of this is as a heat map, so on a glance, I know what items I need to be actively farming, which ones I am in a deep surplus on, which ones I have a shallow surplus, so I can track multiple projects simultaneously so I can best plan them out. This first column is everything I need for Pirate Hondo. This is conquest characters, journey characters, but more the recent ones that I'm actively working on your Jedi Mace windows. This is where Kanata is. It's also going to have SM33, a lot of those pirate characters. Rey was here because she's a recent unlock. This column here, we start shifting over to the luxuries now. Some of this has been reworked from some recent roster videos, but this is the journey level luxury characters. The ones that I either for territory battles or just for the better function of those teams and characters that I want to increase relics on. We're looking at Third Sister, Melgus, Malicos, Jar Jar, all those characters that where their squads would be that much more dangerous if I were to bump them up on. There's also DTMG here, Zerg, who for territory battles we would need at Relegate, so that's some place I could bump up on to get a little bit more access to on the territory battle board. This column now is just key relics that I'm missing. Like I don't have Geobrood Alpha, that would be kind of nice to have. Like K2SO would be relevant right now with Datacrons, with a focus Cron on Radis. We got Vandor. We have new pilots with Bodhi and Pow on the Rogue One. So I'm looking to fill out some of the shortcomings in my roster within this column, but you can see I'm pretty good on almost all pieces. I basically have everything I need for Pirate Hondo today. I am in a pretty good position with this column with only having to worry about med packs, and then really the only thing I'm in a deficit in is signal data, or meaningful deficits at least. The circuit board and bronzing ones, I could wipe those out if I wanted to convert everything right now. Everything else though, we are in some shallow surpluses. Anything below 300 of I consider a little shallow in the surplus range. Over 300 I feel like we can absorb a lot of characters where I feel comfortable, or at least more comfortable dropping that gear on. And today our major unlock is Kanata, and I want to do this today so we have access to her for testing for Grand Arena, but also for raids. So we're going to take her up to Relic 5. And yeah, just drop this. There's some things we need to change, but most everything is good here. We'll drop the rest of the ability materials in a moment, but I think I want to talk about those a little bit more. I didn't do a kit analysis video on her because her release happened when my computer was out of commission before I replaced it, and meaning I'm a little blind on her kit, right? Well, not a little blind, I'm completely blind on her kit, but I think we can quickly go through it. You can see actively how I analyze a kit, but also how I'm going to approach these Omicrons. We'll probably drop 2 of them today. So with Maz, we know we have our new leader. She's not intended to work with Hondo. We have the basic ability, inflict debuffs, healing immunity, and pinned. If the target enemy is Sith, the pin can't be evaded or resisted. And there are other, I did just read through this quickly so we could, so at least I wasn't like verbose in this. But we, on this ability, Eyes Everywhere, we have a cleanse, an AoE cleanse, mass assist, and a cooldown reduction. Now with this ability at the max level, well, let's put the Zeta on I'm getting a little low on Zetas, but we still have time until Hondo comes. We'll need 6 for Hondo. Now at this level, this ability, stealth, cooldown of 4. She takes profits. Inflict expose, increase cooldowns, and now with this ability, steals extra stack of profit. All enemies have their cooldowns increased by 1 instead. 5 stacks. Okay, death mark. This is going to be pretty powerful. This one I'm probably going to put on. The only reason I'm hesitant is because I tend to not like the Omis on abilities because they're not always using them. The leadership we're definitely going to put on. We'll put on the Zeta. And at this level, immune to fear and foresight, that's definitely going to help up against Melgus. Gain a stack of profit until the end of encounter. Retribution ignores the enemy's protection, which also be helpful. That's kind of what like Calcestis does. Attack out of turn, going to gain turn meter. That doesn't help so much up against Melgus. That'll help up against other squads. If there is an enemy Sith, take reduced damage from percent health effects. It's going to help a ton up against Melgus and Malik. Okay, now the Ami. Extra stats. Okay, we're just putting this on. The stats alone I would want. Okay, stacking tenacity when we land crits. If somebody is instantly defeated, they're going to get death mark. So that's Nihilus. That's not a huge deal because not too many people are instantly defeating. I guess you could say Sith Eternal Emperor as well. That's not the strongest. It's really the stats. The stats alone, though, are enough. And plus, leaderships are usually safe. Now, the unique ability. This is probably just terrible video making on my end. All right, let's put the Zeta. 3 Zetas. Okay, so we're down quite a bit on the Zetas. 5 stack, 5% mastery, gain a stack of profit. We already have a lot of synergy with profit. And so when the enemy's losing profit, they're losing stats. This is going to be pretty good. Inflicted debuff, deal true damage whenever a pirate ally inflicts a debuff. We're going to do that. It's a unique, that's like with Conquest or some of those Datacrons where we do max health damage. I do like this. We're definitely going to put this on at some point, but we're only doing 2 today. But I do think this is quite good. For Pirate Hondo and our Marquees. Now we'll definitely do a little bit here, but I'm going to leave the star off on Ithano for the event. I don't even know if that's allowed, but I want to try it. We're waiting on these guys. We're still farming them. We can't promote anybody, so we won't. Oh wait, we can promote kicks, right? No, I'm still farming kicks. I'm going to add a star to Ithano. I was holding off on this, but for era battles, this will give me access to another tier. I'd have to wait until the next one if there is a next one. Otherwise, to bring in some of the other... Actually, I don't even think I'm near close enough on any of the other pirates. So this is the one that makes the most sense for me. We're just going to do a couple of these, not everything. I want to be a little careful on some resources because we've got plenty of time to work on these. But we're actively using Scavray right now with her Crons. She's quite good. So this will potentially help my teams on defense. So we'll do that one right now. I have no need for Bosk, but we'll take him up to Relic 7. Like, I know he's good in territory battles, but I have other teams that he's like... everything you could potentially use Bosk for in the battles, I've been using Balin. So I think I'm just going to do Relic 7 right now. I don't want to get too low on resources. It lets me do a little bit more. I could potentially go to 8. Now, Civil, Brutus, and Vane are all Relic 7. Qui-Gold's Relic 5. But I can't do that right now because we don't have stars. We'll just hold off on them. Ezra we can take to 6. That's cheap enough. Same deal with, well, Kicks we can't do either. But what else do we have? We got Vet Chewie. Chirrut we're done with. Dooku we're done with. Hondo we're done with. And we can take Chewie up to Relic 5 just because whatever. We're not going to go to 7 right now. Okay. If I had any reason to use Bosk, I would do it right now. I think what we can do is gas to Relic 9. Because he's somebody we use all the time. Maybe it'll help a little bit on banners. Maybe stands up a little bit longer. Doesn't hurt in territory battles. But that is our major project progress. There are more Omicrons I want to do though, and that gets us actually, let's look at raid, because we can do some raid work simultaneously. Well, not that. That's not what I want. I want this. We are going to drop this on. This one I meant to do and I forgot about it last week. It's cheap enough. It's 3v3 only. It'll help a squad. Although they're easily countered by, I think, definitely Melgus, but I think Balin does it too. So it's not like it's a super strong team. Now, the rest of these raid characters I'm tempted to start pushing Mace Windu a little higher, but actually I want to be careful with signal data. I think I'm going to be satisfied with this right now. Going into week 2 of season 71 Grand Arena, this is the status of my Datacrons. Let's go to a slightly bigger screen so it's a little easier to see. You can see we went with 3 focus Crons. I built out 2 of them. I stopped on Iden. I could have kept going, but I decided at a certain point that I thought we'd get more benefit from having more level 9 Crons, so I shifted over there, but I didn't really get a lot of the ones that I was hoping for. If you check out my Datacron video, I break those down into tiers of the must-haves, the solid ones, and the nice ones, which is just me being nice about calling them bad. And here I've got most of the solid tier Crons. There's a couple a little bit lower, but CLS, Hondo, those were ones that I had in that must-have range. But we've built out a decent start. I do think it's a little bit more important to have dark side Crons from this set, because I thought the dark side abilities, at least at level 3, were very poor within the Cosmic Plunder set. So I don't actually like to use many of these on dark side unless I have to, so I do think it is nice to favor them down here. And during the next conquest, we're going to push after these a whole lot more, and I like to do it regardless of how much I want to use a set, because it's just look at it as paying it forward towards the next set. It's an investment that always pays off. Not boosting the farms on the B-Wing or Rogue One. Very happy with how they've been boosting the fleets. They do perfectly fine at 3 stars, just dropping all of these materials on. Home 1 is beating every non-meta fleet, which has been super useful. And we'll just do the 25 and 50 crystal refreshes whenever these things become farmable. Hit them hard and fast, but not adding extra crystals at it. I'm satisfied. Alright, we're just going to wrap up then looking at some of the luxury projects. These are characters I want to boost the gear on and resources a little bit. The issue is I am so low on med packs. I can't actually work on most of these characters because almost everybody needs med packs. Actually, I think what would be most helpful is K2SO, because we do have a fully developed Radiscron. And that Nubian scanner. Oh, this is a med pack. Yeah, that's a med pack. And we don't even have enough med packs to do it. Yeah, we're gonna have to hold off then. That's too bad. That would be useful. That's tempting too. Good enough for this week then. By pushing Rey as quickly as we did, once I decided to commit to it, we went after her really fast. That's just brought down a lot of my resources where we just can't do as much in this video. But pretty soon though, we're going to reaccumulate a lot of those resources and we're going to be pushing again. But we're in a pretty good place, a lot to test out for this next week of Grand Arena. Actually, by the time I post this video, we'll be a little bit further into the week, but we'll be looking at a lot of testing on Rogue One, B-Wing, and Maz Kanata. So thank you for watching. Be nice to each other, everybody. This is Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.